Hi and welcome back to the Boss channel, where we break business obstacles online. Right away I want to get into the basics of building a website. In the last video we looked at the top 5 websites that can earn you an income online, and when we did that, we also saw how lucrative it can be to have your own website. So in this video, I want us to look at what you'll need to build your own website. Technically speaking, when it comes to building a website, there are 3 main things to consider that we'll look at more in detail ahead. Those 3 things are the domain name, web hosting, and web design or web building. But before you get technical, if you actually want to get started and avoid going in loops and circles, it's important you do 2 things. The first one is, don't overthink it. Don't overthink your choices or the process that's in front of you. Just because there are so many web building tools out there, many domain registrars or many options, don't think that by choosing one, you're missing out on another, or that your first choice might not meet your needs. If you're building a website for the first time, remember that it doesn't have to be perfect and that you can always upgrade, downgrade, or make necessary changes. I have to stress this point because many people give up on their plans to build a website just because they feel overwhelmed with the options or the process in general. But not you. Keep in mind that whatever choice you make, most web building providers continue to offer free plans or money-back guarantees after 30 days, meaning you can experiment with minimal risk. If you feel you have a website that might explode with visitors or content in the near future, you can always scale up or upgrade. Better still, you can carry your files and shift them to another web hosting company that will accommodate your new needs with minimal fuss. You also have to remember that companies involved in web hosting keep upgrading their services. What you think you lack today might be available in a few weeks or days just because they are all trying to keep up with the competition to gain more and more users. So, step 1 is, don't overthink it. Important step, whatever company you choose to work with won't be the worst mistake in the world. There are over 1 billion websites in the world, 10,000 of which are created every hour. So, don't get left behind trying to overthink the perfect start, just begin. The next step in building your website is knowing what to look for. Before you build your website or choose your hosting company, do you actually know what you're looking for? The answer lies in what website you are trying to build. Are you trying to build a blog, an online store, where you want to sell items to your customers? Is it a forum, a software hub, or a landing page? Once you are clear about what website you want, selecting the tools to build it will become a lot easier. After understanding the importance of those 2 things, you can then turn to the technical aspect of building a site. Like we said earlier, there are 3 main steps to building your website. The first one you'll go through is choosing or selecting a domain name. A domain name is the physical address of a website on the internet. It's the name that will identify a website's location on the net. Some of the popular domain names you've heard of before are like google.com or facebook.com. It doesn't always have to end with a .com, by the way. It can be a .net, .biz, or a .org. To acquire a domain name, there'll be 2 ways to go about this. The first one is getting a free domain with your hosting company. Hosting companies nowadays provide one domain for free, usually for the first year, if you are willing to host your website on their servers. The second option is to go to one of the name registrars online like GoDaddy or Namecheap and buy your own domain name there. You can search for a unique name that isn't owned by anyone else, and then once you find it, you can buy and then own the domain name thereafter for an annual fee. The cost of buying a domain name can vary between $5 to $30, but the average market price is less than $10 per year. Domain registrars are the companies that register your domain for you at an annual fee. There are a number of domain registrars like Namecheap or DreamHost or Domain.com, but I would recommend using either Namecheap, GoDaddy, or any of the providers on this list. They should all equally do domain registration perfectly well, although usually before getting to this point, you may sometimes wonder whether you should pay for a domain name or get one, quote-unquote, absolutely free. Is it possible to register a domain for free? The answer is yes, but you get what you pay for. Registering a free domain usually means your domain name won't be unique and instead will feature the company name which is providing that service. It could look something like this, which, let's face it, won't be attractive if you're trying to build a brand. Alternatively, if you just want one domain name, you can utilize the free option that comes when you're paying for hosting space. Otherwise, if you want multiple domain names for whatever reason, you can buy them from the domain registrars that we listed previously. After securing your domain name, step 2 will be web hosting. Web hosting means finding a server where to keep your website files, your content, your data, your images, or your code. If you can handle it, you can set up your own servers and host your own website. But the reason most people pay a company to host their site is simply because they want guaranteed speed, reliability, and security for their websites. And that's what hosting companies do. You can pick any of the following hosting providers to host your site right away. These are some of the top hosting providers, and again, always remember that if they don't meet your needs, you can change providers with minimal fuss at no cost to you. What I would recommend is using either Bluehost, HostGator, SiteGround, or Hostinger. They can all do a good job in hosting your site. If you are looking specifically for free hosting, these are some options available. But again, you get what you pay for. So when you ask companies to host your files for free, expect some limitations to their service like available space and reliability. Most hosting companies won't give your website priority if they are storing your files for free, which can affect your business. But whether it's free or paid, you can now select from the available lists and get your website hosted. Your business won't collapse because you picked one over the other. Just select one of these and get started. Once you've gotten over the obstacle of choosing a hosting company, the final step is building and editing your website. Building websites continues to get easier and easier with every passing year. Before you build a website, you need to select what is called a web builder. There are several popular web builders online, but the one I will always recommend, especially if you're starting out, is WordPress. WordPress is a web builder that's used by over 60% of the websites on the internet. It's free and very popular because of its ease of use. WordPress, like many other web builders, uses simple drag and drop features that can allow you to build your website in less than 30 minutes. Once you've chosen a hosting company, you can simply follow the prompts and install WordPress on your site. You don't have to go searching for it online. Most hosting companies today allow seamless WordPress integration into their sites. Inside WordPress, or any other web builder, you can find tools to get you started on building a site. The tools I'm talking about include website templates, website themes or plugins that can make the most complicated features on the internet very accessible with a click of a button. I would first of all advise you to pick a template for your website. There are usually hundreds if not thousands of templates to get you started, many of which are free. You can pick one of the available templates, then substitute that dummy information with your own. When it comes to editing, you don't have to perfectly fill all the available fields. You can start with a home page, an About Us page, or just a blog page and an About Us page. It's your website, your rules, so be different if you have to, as long as you can still serve your customers. There's no right way or perfect way to lay out your information. Don't overthink it, just get started. Okay, so that's all you need to know about building a website. Choose a domain name, find a web hosting company to host your website, and use a web builder to build your site. All this can happen under 30 minutes. If you're a procrastinator like me, it should take 1 to 3 days tops. Alright, I hope you found this information useful. Let me know in the comments if we broke some obstacles today. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more of these videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.